bitter criticism here in the bar, in the bar bus. Technically, you cannot drink on the streets, but let's see what happens. I think we should have this all kind of experiences. And what else? We're supporting Argentina national under 20 team, under 20 national team from Argentina. And we are going to read some news too. The driver is happy, so do I am. West distorting battlefield picture in Ukraine conflict, Russian envoy. I'm going to read this. On Russia Today. October 16, home, Russia and former Soviet Union. West distorting battlefield picture in Ukraine conflict, Russia envoy. The media touts Kiev's limited successes while ignoring Moscow's steady progress, Ambassador to the UK Andrei Kelin has said. File photograph from some soldiers at war from Sputnik. The Western media is distorting the battlefield situation in the Ukraine conflict by hyping up Kiev's limited successes while ignoring Moscow's steady advances. Russia's ambassador to the UK, Andrei Kelly, has said in an interview aired by TRT World. I don't know this channel. Sounds like Russia Today, but TRT World on Thursday. Kelly rejected the notion that the conflict had reached a stalemate, saying that Russian forces hold the initiative along quote unquote, along the whole long front line, end quote. Western outlets here are quote unquote trying to single out while overlooking Russia's day-to-day progress. The narrative here, quote, is just to raise some spirit in Ukraine and especially among Europeans so they will not abandon their efforts to continue to finance this war and provide armament which only prolongs the conflict, end quote. Responding to reports suggesting that Moscow might set its sights on the West after the Ukraine conflict is over, the ambassador said Western outlets routinely gloss over President Vladimir Putin's assurances that Russia has no intention of attacking NATO countries. Quotation. Our problem is Ukraine and the efforts to support Ukraine. Kelly also waged in on debates about sending US-produced long-range Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, noting that Russia has heard, quote-unquote, quite a lot of threats pronounced by Europeans and Americans as well. Quote, they cannot influence our policy. We are too big to listen to the threats, he said. Who said? Yeah, anyway, there's a threat of tomahawks against Russia. But nothing happens. Nothing is happening. Fortunately, I guess. And He also said that Russia can continue its military campaign for as long as it takes. Quote, we can continue for years and years because we are self-sustained, end quote. The envoy said, dismissing Western claims that Russia faces shortages of technology or components. Quote, in terms of armament production, we do not need external assistance, while like the Ukrainians do so. Like the Ukrainians do. And he added that Ukraine's forces will collapse, quote unquote, within weeks if Western arms supplies were cut off. Interesting article. It's very straightforward. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov has said Russia remains open to diplomacy with Kiev, but, quote, in the absence of alternatives, continues the special military operation, end quote, to protect the country's interests. Moscow maintains that a lasting settlement requires Ukraine to commit to neutrality, demilitarization, denazification, and recognition of the new territorial realities on the ground, which means recognize the even Crimea. Ukraine is even contesting Crimea, but they are crazy because Crimea, it was there was referendums for all the regions, and yeah, there's no news. Ukraine is still dumb. Ukraine is still disappearing. Ukraine will disappear. You will see. And well, that was the first news. There's a second about says October 16, Russia reportedly makes a major glide bomb breakthrough. An inexpensive airdrop weapon may be struck a Ukrainian target from as far as 150 kilometers away, according to military Telegram channel. Yesterday, Morocco won. I saw the highlights. I think France should won because there was no penalty against Morocco, but right there. Elias Figueroa Stadium. And well, now the final is Argentina Morocco. You have to recognize Morocco has good soccer now. And that was the stadium. And I didn't went there because it's kind of expensive. I prefer to buy beer. Russia reportedly makes a major glide bomb breakthrough. And an expensive airdrop weapon may be struck at Ukrainian target from as far as 150 kilometers away, according to a military Telegram channel. Oh. Still recording. There's a file photo of Russian glide bombs at the military expo in Zhukovsky, Russia. So glide bombs, I don't know what the hell. Maybe this kind of small bombs. I really don't know what the hell is slide bomb. Maybe just a light, like flashes. Russian forces may have tested an upgraded glide bomb capable of striking targets up to 150 kilometers away, according to a military focus telegram channel. Regular Russian glide bombs are typically older gravity bombs modified with aerodynamics kits that add precision and extended range. Most existing models have an estimated reach of between 40 and 70 kilometers, depending on weight and deployment at altitude. The weapons are considered cost-effective and highly destructive, allowing Russian aircraft to demolish fortified Ukrainian frontline positions from a safe distance. Oh, this is not just light. The Voyeni Obozrevatel military observer Telegram channel, oh, I'm going to follow it, claimed that a Russian strike on the city of Nikolaev on Tuesday was carried out with a glide bomb that traveled between 120 and 150 kilometers before hitting its target. The Ukrainian military had earlier reported a glide bomb threat over Nikolaev, later confirming that Su-34 fighter jet had launched munition from airspace above the Black Sea. Officials said the type of weapons was still being identified, adding that there were no casualties from the strike. Earlier reports indicated that Russia has been developing an advanced glide bomb kit known as the UMPB D30SN, which uses redesigned wings to extend range to between 100 and 120 kilometers. Field testing of the relatively small size system is believed to have been underway since the least May 2024. Nice. Sometimes I fear about Russia and China because they are so powerful. But normally, I want to live there. I want to live in Russia or China. And what? EU could ban filter cigarettes. Bild. He's the richest man in Africa. He may help with his country's biggest crisis. Germany to spend 10 billion euros on military drones. Let's read this. October 16, today. Beautiful drone. I wish I have this. I wish I could have one of those drones. Germany to spend 10 billion euros on military drones. Purchases will be of quote unquote all types and altitudes, end quote, and will be include defense and attack UAVs, Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has said. Germany plans to spend 10 billion euros, which is $10.8 billion, in the coming years to massively expand its fleets of military drones. Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has said. The plan comes amid EU discussions of a quote-unquote drone wall, a proposed network of air defense and surveillance systems to counter alleged Russian threats. The German UAVs acquisition are part of a broader militarization drive across the bloc, with Berlin taking a lead role. Speaking to reporters on the sidelines of the NATO defense ministers meeting in Brussels on Wednesday, Pistorius pledged that Germany will take a greater role in EU air defense. Recently, several Western officials have accused Russian aircraft and drones of violating EU airspace, labeling the incidents as part of an alleged and quote-unquote hybrid war by Moscow. The Kremlin has denied the allegations, dismissing them as unfounded and accusing the West of fostering anti-Russia quote-unquote hysteria. Pistorius declared that Germany will make a quote-unquote visible contribution and that its drone purchases will encompass quote-unquote all types and altitudes, including both defense and attack craft. A ministry spokesperson also confirmed that Germany will deploy 2 Eurofighter jets to Malbork, Poland from December to March. The European Commission is set to unveil a quote-unquote roadmap for its quote-unquote drone wall plan this week, touted by Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, according to media reports. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has condemned the idea, stating that building walls is always bad, and history shows, end quote. Pistorius' remarks follow several drone sightings over critical German infrastructure, most notably Munich airport earlier this month, which led to dozens of cancelled flights and thousands of delayed passengers. Some media outlets and officials have claimed that the drone flights have been orchestrated by Moscow. As we are crossing the stadium, Elias Figueroa Stadium, where yesterday Morocco under 20 classified to the finals. So just France is only playing for the third place now, which is interesting. Still interesting. Earlier this month, Russian President Vladimir Putin humorously addressed concerns about quote-unquote Russian drones in Europe, quipping quote-unquote, "They feel uneasy. I won't send them anymore. Not to France, not to Denmark, not to Copenhagen. Where else do they fly? Lisbon." Yeah. Who knows? Who knows the truth? But yeah, I like Putin. Shifting to a more serious tone, Putin asserted that Russia has no targets in Europe, and that discussions about drones are merely efforts to stoke tensions and justify increased military spending. That was all from Russia Today.